Kanji Yukatani is a world-renowned medical researcher. His passion for pharmacy began when he lost his little sister to an incurable brain tumor. That is when he devoted himself to finding a cure for that disease. However, the amount of overwork Yukatani put himself through resulted in him dying from a heart attack at the young age of 31. Fortunately, he reincarnated as Pharma, a member of the renowned De Medicis noble family in the San Fluve Empire. His father, Bruno, is a great royal pharmacist. His maid, Charlotte, informs Pharma that he has been in a coma after being struck by lightning. She is amazed to see the crest of Panatheos, the god of medicine, on his arm. Pharma is shocked to discover the existence of divine arts from Charlotte. After testing his powers, he realizes that he can summon all the periodic table elements through his knowledge of chemistry. Pharma starts his pharmacy and divine art lessons with his teacher Eleanor. But soon the teacher becomes wary of his magical capacity, which is increased almost to infinity. She flees when she discovers Pharma possesses the Divine Eye, a legendary magic that can detect any disease. Pharma visits Eleanor at her home. He finds her terrified at the thought of him being Panatheos, one of the gods who ruled divine arts. He requests her to continue being his tutor. Eleanor remembers that Panatheos are benevolent beings and stops being afraid. Pharma starts practicing with his divine eye and diagnoses and creates treatments for the household servants. They become emotional as the De Medicis family only serves royalty, and medicines from commoner doctors are quite expensive. Hence, Pharma finds his new purpose in making medicine available for all social classes. Soon after, his sister Blanche contracts chickenpox. He uses his magic to help treat his sister and makes her vow to keep his powers a secret. Bruno is surprised at Blanche's speedy recovery but doesn't show any suspicion. To better utilize his divine eye, Pharma creates a pocket-sized microscope. Later, Bruno summons Pharma to accompany him on a trip to provide treatment to the Empress. The father-son duo visit the Empress Elizabeth. After examining her, Bruno concludes that her condition is incurable. However, Pharma diagnoses her with White Death and then claims that he can save her. While Pharma is preparing medicine, Bruno angrily tells him that there exists no cure for White Death. However, Pharma claims that his father is also suffering from White Death in its early stages. Bruno attacks his son to stop him from making medicine, thinking it to be poison. However, Pharma forms an ice wall, revealing his powers, and his father finally supports him. Using his pocket microscope, he proves the existence of bacteria to the court physicians. Satisfied, Elizabeth agrees to take his medicine for the 6 months required. Pharma's incredible success in treating Queen Elizabeth is celebrated as a miracle. Meanwhile, Noah, a page in the Queen's court, informs Pharma of her plans to reward him. Pharma hesitantly reveals his aspiration to open a pharmacy catering to both the aristocracy and the common people. Months later, with the Queen fully recovered, Bruno is granted new lands and Pharma is promoted to the role of royal pharmacist with permission to establish his own pharmacy. The pharmacy is inadvertently named Parallel World Pharmacy. Baron, head of the San Flu Pharmaceutis Guild, attempts to sabotage the pharmacy but is thwarted by Eleanor. Pharma hires Cedric, Bruno's former accountant, after correctly deducting that Bruno engineered his retirement to help his son. Pharma's first month in business was slow, with only one customer, John, a sailor. Charlotte conducts a survey and receives many complaints. Pharma's mother, Beatrice, suggests selling whitening cosmetics, but Bruno adamantly opposes the idea due to the toxic effects of lead. He suddenly receives a customer, the noble Chloe. He diagnoses her with anemia and a wound infection caused by bloodletting to become white. Pharma creates a non-toxic makeup that she loves, and soon many customers flock to his shop. Chloe offers to finance a separate shop for Pharma focused on cosmetics. The Queen is also entranced by Pharma's new makeup and passes a law banning lead-based cosmetics. She advises Pharma to sell his makeup recipes and to raise the price of his medicines so as not to put commoner pharmacists out of business. Pharma, along with his family and friends, visits Bruno's new lands, which includes ports and farmland. While at the beach, Blanche is swept away by a rip current. Pharma uses his power to erase a part of the ocean and carry her to safety. However, his power attracts the attention of the Holy Temple members, who view him as a heretic and issue orders to assassinate him. Heading back to the pharmacy, they find the shop vandalized. Despite this, Pharma is touched by the support of his community, including the sailor John and other shop owners who come to help clean up. However, his troubles are far from over as he is lured to a deserted field by a girl asking for help. Once there, the temple priests and inquisitor confront him. Pharma is attacked by Grand Inquisitor Solomon and his fellow priests, who mistake him for an evil spirit. Pharma easily defends himself and tries to convince them that he means no harm. When they see the crest of Panactheos on his arm, they believe him to be a guardian deity. Pharma performs an emergency surgery to mend the Inquisitor's leg injured during the attack. Solomon is later promoted to bishop. He visits Pharma and brings a divine staff and a talisman to suppress Pharma's divine art aura. Pharma then discovers that the Pharmacy Guild is preventing the sale of his recipes to commoners. Thus, he decides to form his own guild. On that very evening, the daughter of Pierre, who is both a pharmacy store owner and a member of the guild, becomes extremely sick. Baron, the pharmacy guild leader, forbids his members from dealing with Pharma's pharmacy after failing to destroy it. However, Pierre takes his sick daughter to Pharma, who provides her with excellent care and affordable prices. He is impressed by Pharma's expertise and confesses to the guild that all pharmacists should learn from him. Baron expels Pierre, revoking his license, and destroys his shop. But Pharma invites Pierre to join his new compounding pharmacy guild authorized by the Queen. He learns from Pharma and opens his shop, the Dawn Pharmacy, with only advanced medicines. As Pierre opens up the shop, a swamp of customers await him. At night, Bruno is tormented by dreams of Camus de Sadie, his former friend who was banished for conducting abominable medical experiments on human subjects. The next morning, Bruno's elder son, Per, reports a deadly epidemic originating from Pant Island. Bruno seeks Pharma's help, who identifies the disease as the Black Death. With the Queen's help, he initiates quarantine and medical precautions. Pharma and Eleanor head to Marcière, where the contaminated wares are supposed to arrive. Meanwhile, Camus returns to the capital with an ominous dark aura. Pharma and Eleanor inspect the merchant ships in Marcière with the help of Saint-Fleuve's naval force, led by a regular customer, Commodore John. Despite no outbreaks occurring in the port, Pharma learns that the Black Death has struck a local village. The plague was spread after an illegal ship docked there. He rides his divine staff alone to prevent the villagers from leaving and spreading the infection. Meanwhile, Commodore Jean sinks the illegal ship, found with everybody dead. After reaching the village, Pharma organizes treatment measures. After the initial preparations are completed, he enters the section where critical cases have been isolated. Pharma and his team, along with temple members, work hard to prevent an outbreak of the Black Death. Soon, they realize that more assistance is needed. Bruno asks Professor Ruth Gaspard, a specialist for the taxonomy of fungi and microorganisms at the Imperial School of Pharmacy, to help develop antibiotics. Meanwhile, temple members intercept several crew members from the rogue ship. It brought rare white squirrels from Pant, which can spread the plague, and 5 holy knights from Netherland. Pharma connects the dots to Queen Elizabeth's illness and concludes that someone is plotting to use virulent diseases to eradicate the Saint-Fleuve Empire. His theory is validated when the wanted knights release a large number of white squirrels into the city. While discussing the crisis, Bruno suspects that Camus is responsible for the outbreak to take revenge on Saint-Fleuve for his banishment. Enemy knights confirm Camus's involvement, but the infection is spread throughout the city due to the squirrel's ability to fly. Meanwhile, Camus infiltrates Parallel World Pharmacy and poisons Cedric and Charlotte. Pharma and Bruno arrive, and while the father fights Camus, the son purges the poison from his friends. When Camus overcomes Bruno, Pharma fights back with his divine art and destroys the enemy and the demonic power that possessed him. The outbreak is swiftly quelled, and Pharma's successes inspire advanced medical research.